All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the first debate of 7th hour, the 2017-2018 second semester speech class. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Woohoo! All right. We'd like to welcome our debaters today and remind them that Theo down here, say hi, Theo, will be timekeeping for you today. So he knows those signals. And so without further ado, we ask Mr. Speaker and Mr. Timekeeper to make sure that this speech does not exceed 3 minutes in length today. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here in front of all of you. I'm Prime Minister in the government, Dusan, and I would like to thank first to my partner, Tori, to the opposition, timekeeper, judges, and the audience. Today's topic is whether should or should not students who have an A in the class take the final exam. And government have the attitude towards that they shouldn't take a final. Government is decided that first point is that students were possibly and probably working hard during the whole school year to earn that A in that class. So if they were possibly doing that enough throughout the whole year, they should maybe have that opportunity to not take the final exam. Second point is that that final exam can only possibly harm the grade percentage-wise for the person who already have an A. They can possibly only drop, they can't raise that grade to the higher. And the third point is that students were probably already proved understanding, and that's really good possibility that if they were doing fine in certain class throughout the whole year, probably they have already well enough understanding of the topic that they were supposed to take final exam from. So let's review. So our first topic is that students shouldn't take final exam if they already have an A. Our first point is that they were probably working hard enough for the whole school year, and they shouldn't do that as a result of their work. Second is that that final exam can possibly only harm their grade percentage-wise, that it can only bring it down. And the third one is that they possibly already prove understanding of the subject that they're supposed to take the final exam from. I would like to thank to my partner, Tori, to the opposition, audience, timekeeper, and the judges, and I would call you to vote for government.
All right, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:31.
2:31. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock so that Miss Emma can prepare her statements? Thank you very much. And you can talk, folks. If you need to chit-chat about it, talk about it. All right, thank you very much. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Emma a round of applause and welcome her as the first speaker for the opposition. We remind both the timekeeper and Miss Speaker that the time should not exceed 3 minutes for this speech. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Hello, I am Emma Paul. I'm the leader of the opposition. I'd like to thank my partner, the government, and the audience, timekeeper, and the judges for being here. Now, our topic is if students who have an A should or should not take the final. And we think that they still should take the final. Our first point is that students who, or the government's first topic was that they were working hard all year, so they shouldn't take the final. But we think that not all students who work hard, they might not get A's. So we think that it should be equal opportunity for everyone to get the final. And their second point was that it would only harm the grade and not raise it higher. But we think that if the student is already getting an A, then they wouldn't do bad on the final, and it wouldn't just hurt their grade. It actually could raise it higher. And their third point is that the student has proved their understanding of the topic, and we think that even if they know their understanding of the topic, it wouldn't hurt to take the final. Because since they know it, then they can review all of the stuff that they have learned throughout the year to get it fresh in their memory. So to review, we think not all students who work hard, like they might not get A's. If they already have an A in the class, then they shouldn't do bad on the final. And our third point was it wouldn't hurt to take the grade or take the final for the grade. And lastly, I would like to thank my partner, the government, the audience, timekeeper, and judges for being here. And remember to vote for the opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:32.
2:32. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, will you please put 1 minute on the clock for Tori to prepare her arguments, please? Thank you. Yeah, okay. I was wondering, that sounded like a little bit longer than a minute. All right, let's go ahead and welcome Tori, please, with a round of applause, please. And we want to remind everybody listening and to the speaker and timekeeper that this is a speech, again, that should not exceed more than 3 minutes, please. If you'd like to, that's fine. You can go ahead and adjust. If you need to lower it, that's fine, too.
I think it's fine.
Okay, alrighty. Alrighty, Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready? Okay, Miss Timekeeper, I'm sorry, I did that again. Miss Speaker, whenever you're ready, then you can go ahead and begin.
Hi, I'm Tori Griffith, and I'm the member of the government. And first, I would like to thank my partner, Dusan, the opposition, the audience, timekeeper, and judges. And our topic today is if a student has an A, should or should they not take a final? And we as the government believe that they shouldn't have to. The first point that the opposition made was that the student has an equal opportunity to take a final. And if they haven't worked hard, then they possibly don't already have an A. But we as the government have decided that that the student throughout the year has had the opportunity to get that A through their hard work, possibly. So most likely, possibly, they already have that A in the class. Our second point is that if they already have an A, then that final possibly couldn't raise your score because you already have like the top score, but that the final could possibly lower the student's score. The third point is that the opposition said that it wouldn't hurt a student to take their final, that it would refresh the student's memory, possibly, but we as the government believe that the student could have the opportunity to do the study guides for that final, which could possibly refresh their memory, but they wouldn't have to actually take the final. To review, our first point was that the student has done hard work, but even if they don't have an A, they've had the opportunity to possibly get that A the whole year. Our second point is if they have an A, this final possibly won't lower their score, but it possibly won't also raise their score because they already have the highest grade in the class. And our third point is that they don't have to take the final as a review because possibly they could take the study guide to refresh their memory, which could then not have them to take the final. And I would like to thank my partner, the opposition, the audience, judges, and the timekeeper, and vote for government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper. 2:19. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Timekeeper, 1 minute, please, only on the clock for Anna to prepare her arguments, please. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Anna a round of applause and welcome her as the second speaker for the opposition. And we want to remind both Ms. Speaker and Mr. Timekeeper that, again, this is a speech that should not exceed 3 minutes. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yeah.
All righty, Ms. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Good afternoon. I'm Anna Royak, and I'll be debating as a member of the opposition today. I'd like to thank my partner, my opponents, the judge, timekeeper, and audience for being here and helping with the debate today. Our topic today is, as stated by the government, that students with A's should not have to take finals. However, as the opposition, I will be arguing on the side that students with A's should have to take the finals like everyone else. Their first point was those students were probably working hard for their grade already, and if they were working hard, then they had their chance to get an A. However, not all students who work hard get A's. It just doesn't work for everybody, and some students with A's haven't necessarily worked that hard either. So just to make sure everything is fair for all the different cases of students, because not every student learns the same way, hardworking students without A's should have to take the final, and so should students with A's, whether they have worked hard or not. Their second point was that the final could lower their total grade, but if they have A's in a class, they're probably either smart enough or hardworking enough that they're not going to completely bomb their final. Now, the final won't have guaranteed harm to their grade unless they score less on it than their class grade, which might be an indicator anyway that they don't understand the class material as well as their class grade might indicate. And their third point was that students have already proved their understanding of the class, and even if they want a review, they can just do the final study guides. However, I stand by the point that it should be helpful to them, like to have a review, so that they may be able to go over what they've learned and it might stick in their minds better. However, it should be more than just a study guide, so that also for the teacher's sake, the teacher can see that his or her teaching of the course has been effective, because part of the teacher's job is to make sure that their students understand the material. So to review, our 3 points are, our first point is students don't always get A's by working hard, so they should all have equal exams. Our second point is if the students with A already have A's, they probably aren't going to completely bomb their final. And our third point is that it should be helpful for them to have a review of everything they've learned. I'd like to thank my partner one more time, and the opponents, the judge, timekeepers, and the audience, and I encourage you to vote for opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
2:33.
I'm sorry?
2:33.
2:33. Okay, thank you very much. And will you please, Mr. Timekeeper, put 1 minute on the clock. Now remember, Miss Emma, we're coming to you next, okay? All right, 1 minute on the clock, please. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Let's give Emma a round of applause and welcome her as her final speech for the opposition. Again, now, please, we have a change. Notice, Ms. Speaker and Mr. Timekeeper, this is a speech that only lasts 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes in length only. You hear that, Mr. Timekeeper, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yeah.
All righty. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Speaker, you may begin.
I am Emma Paul. I'm the leader of opposition, and I would like to thank my partner, the government, the audience, timekeeper, and judges for being here. And our topic today is if students with an A should or should not take a final, and we think that they should take the final. Government's first point was the student was working hard all year, and then everyone had the same opportunity to get an A. But we think that people aren't on the same level. So people could work hard and give their effort all in, but still not get an A. So they would still have to take the final anyways. So we think it should be equal opportunity, that everyone should take the final, no matter if they work hard or not. The second point in the government was that it would lower their grade and not just raise it. And we think that even if it can't raise their score higher, then they could at least keep their grade instead of lowering it. And then their third point was they improved their understanding of topics, so they could just do the study guides for review. But we think that it's still a good point to review and have it fresh in the memory, and the teacher can see the effectiveness of what they learned and what they taught. So to review, our points are not all people work hard at the same level. People can keep their grade even if it doesn't raise it, and then teacher can see if there is effectiveness. And I would like to thank my partner, the government, the audience, timekeeper, and judges, and remember, vote for opposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. And time, please, timekeeper.
1:54.
1:54. All right, thank you very much. If you could please put 1 more minute on that clock, Mr. Timekeeper, for Dusan to prepare his closing arguments. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Timekeeper. All right, let's welcome Dusan one more time as the Speaker for the government. Give him a round of applause. And we would like to remind both Mr. Timekeeper and Mr. Speaker that, again, this speech should not exceed 2 minutes only this time. Mr. Timekeeper, are you ready?
Yes.
All righty. Mr. Speaker, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Hello, I'm Dusan. I'm the Prime Minister in the government, and first of all, I would like to thank my partner, opposition, audience, timekeeper, and the judges. Our topic today is whether students with an A should or should not take the final exam, and side that we took is that they shouldn't take the final exam. Our first point, opposition's first point is that depending of the class, students are probably working enough, and some classes are possibly really hard and possibly needs to work really hard to earn an A, while their point was that some people are, and some students overall don't work enough possibly to earn that A. So we think that some classes are a little bit probably harder, and it's probably took a little bit more work to get an A. Second point is that it can possibly lower the grade. Also, the opposition stated that it can't be harmful to do it, it can't raise it, but it would be useful. All finals are basically hard, and it can lower the grade only. If you're having an A, it possibly can only lower your grade if you do bad, because accidents happen and you can just ruin your grade. Our third point is that students are probably doing that study guide, already turning it in to the teacher, can possibly already prove understanding of the topic that they were proving through the whole year. I would like to thank to my partner, I would like to thank the opposition, I would like to thank to audience, timekeeper, and the judges, and vote for government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. And that was right at 2?
Yep.
All right, right at 2. Let's give all of our debaters a round of applause today. First ones to go. Good job. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Debaters.